Yes, guys, welcome to tonight's live stream. We are live, Club live stream. We go live at the end of every single month. Every single last Thursday of the month, we go live. And we go through all the questions that have come from all the pro members, and then we will get down here in the feed. And I could already see so many of you down in the live stream chat. So don't forget, I will go through as many questions as I can. So pop your questions down below. Now, I'm going to say right now, first things first, while I load these up, I want to say, I hope you guys have had an unbelievable Christmas. I hope you guys have had an unbelievable festive period with your family. It's now time to start thinking about New Year and then start thinking about our golf games for 2024, which seems absolutely crazy that I'm sat here saying this, but that is the reality. And before we get into any of the first questions, welcome, by the way, if you're just joining. We've got Chasey, we've got Higgy, we've got Jim, Stu, Fergo, another one from Jim in here. Pop your questions down below. I want to say right now, guys, get down in the comments. What is your target for 2024? What do you want to be? Imagine we're here in a year's time and we're just sat here going, you know what? I had a target for this year of X handicap, or to break 80, to break 90, to break 100, whatever that might be. What is that target for you? Pop it down below in the comments. I would love to hear what you have got your eyes set on for 2024. I'll share you mine, right? This is nothing like technical or nothing actually really to do with scores per se. It might sound crazy, this, but in the last sort of 3 to 5 years, I've like hardly played that much. Now, I say hardly played, probably played 10 rounds a year, which isn't a lot, is it? Like most of us probably play once at least every single week. So my aim actually for this year coming is just to play a lot more. It's just to get out and enjoy the game of golf. That is my aim. And that is what I'm going to try and do this year. So I've got my phone here. We're going to go through some of the questions, some of the comments that I have had sent in from my AE Pro members. Let's start going through some of those. And the first one comes in all the way from New Zealand, which is absolutely crazy. But I've just seen some of these come through here. Fergo said, get to a handicap of 15 and consistently shoot under 19. Interestingly, what do you think, Fergo, you've got to do in order to do that? Okay, what's got to happen? What have you got to action in order to do that? Another one coming in here from Greg saying, get down to a 15 handicap in got down to a 15 handicap in 2021. Back up to 21. Various reasons and not getting any younger. He's 58, but wants to get back down to 15. Nice. And that's a great target. Like, I think when we sort of get older, we sort of tend to lose distance, but we've just got to improve other areas of our game, which before we didn't have to rely on as much. Okay. That's what I would say is a key thing, right? Key thing. Ambrose Goody saying consistency is my wish. No, Ambrose, what is consistency? I always say this. People go to me for a lesson. I want to get consistent, Alex. But I always say to them, what does consistent look like? Is that irons? Is that driver? Is that chipping? Is that putting? What does that look like? Because then you can sort of start to hone in on what those goals are. Another one from Colin said, Alex, what is your favorite new item from this year? My aim is to perform better in comps. Comps is a big one, isn't it? And I think for me, that is all done in how you prepare and how you practice, which we will get to because a few of these comments are in here. From Gerard Coleman, your tips have helped me greatly. Most importantly, created great family time on the course. So golf is enjoyable all around. Thank you. Merry Xmas. Gerard, thank you. And Merry Christmas to you too. So before we go into these, I know Michael's done one, Wingsy's done one, R9T's done one, Fergo's comment back here. We will come to these. Another one from Rob Palmer. Another one. Nick Major is one of the pro members and has said to us, hi, Alex. I've been playing for 2 years now and I often hit the ball off the toe, especially when I'm trying to do 50 to 75% type power shots. What can I do to make sure that I'm not going to hit the toe? The golf club. okay, with the golf ball. It could be that we're coming far too out to him. It could be that we're stood too far away from it. But what I see mostly, right, is when we're trying to hit short shots and let's say pitch shots, controlled shots, which I would say is that 50 to 75% range, I would say that we tend to stand too far away from the golf ball. And when you stand too far away from the golf ball for a short shot, we leave it susceptible to missed strikes. So anytime we're putting less power on, let's get a little closer. Let's grip down a little bit, stand a bit closer to the ball in general. And this is all going to help us find the middle of the golf club. So I would really, Nick, have a look at where we are with that. Have a look at the distance, make sure we're in a good spot and go from there. Honestly, Nick, for me, that is a key area I would look at. Now, I know we said Russ just popped one in down in here, but going back to Fergo, I asked Fergo, what does consistency look like? Because I bet loads of you watching now thinking, Alex, I want to get consistent. And I agree. And Fergo's come back because I said, what does that look like? Hit the fairway and use my handicap to my advantage. Also, don't leave putts short. Fergo, so you've set some goals there, haven't you? Hitting fairways, that doesn't necessarily meaning you have to hit driver all the time. That could honestly be like getting good with the fairway woods, getting good with irons, course management. You can see how this sort of goes off into a better conversation. So you start to improve better areas. Now, let's load the next question that I got in here from some of the pro members before we go into these here, guys. If you are enjoying this chat, it really does help me if you hit that thumbs up button, you subscribe to the channel if you've not already, turn the bell. That way you always get notified. And just pop your comments or questions down below. Also, after this live stream this evening, I've not actually posted tonight's tip yet because I wanted just to let you know what it's about and just go, right, okay, guys, focus on this. It's a biggie tonight. It's a really good one coming after this live stream. And I would say, no matter if you're looking at irons, you're looking at driver, you're looking at any department of your game, if you have this wrong, it's very hard to be consistent. It's very hard to be a good ball striker, and I would say for irons and driver. Okay. Now, next question coming in here from Alan Carter. Alan Carter, I know this name. Alan, you're a vivid watcher of everything here in Alex Lake Golf, so I really do appreciate you for that, and I appreciate all of you. He said, "Hi, Alex. Firstly, many thanks for your great tip on Podrick Carrington. I actually tested his hips and his chipping motion. His chipping one was a great one for me. Go and check that out on the channel. Chipping one works great. I need to throttle back my chips, but it's so good. My question is, I'm driving about 150 yards. Okay, but sometimes the devil gets better than me and I really try and smash the ball. My reward is a lovely slice. If I feel it's a big hit coming, should I try and closing my face on my driver more, or is there more of a complex answer to this? Now, being perfectly honest, Alan, there is a complex answer to this. Golf is a complex game. Let's not try and dumb that down, but we try and make it as simple as possible here on the channel. One thing I would say is, Alan, when you feel that urge, and this is for everybody, that imagine you stood on a wide open par 5, no trouble that you think. You are the urge going, right, this one's getting it. I am going to give this one absolutely plenty. I want you to get a little mantra on your head. Now, me being a City fan, I've had this one for years. I know this player doesn't play anymore. But what I do is I have a mantra, and this keeps me on good rhythm. Because when people start to go after it, it's not necessarily the speed that gets them out. It's the rhythm. And they don't know the perception of where they are relative, or where their club face is relative to their stroke. So I encourage all golfers to have that mantra. And mine is Sergio Aguero. That's how I think about it. And that's the mantra that I have. Or you could say up to hip height, I want to count to 1. Complete the backswing to 2, 3 on the way down. That way you've got something to work to, because rhythm's not tangible. You can't touch it. It's hard, isn't it? Whereas you do that, I promise you, you will start to feel a little bit better. Okay, Alan, I hope that helps you here. Let's go to another one of the pro members. I'm going to start, well, that one loads. We'll go to some of the questions down here below in the comments. Merry Christmas and congrats on the new edition from Ryan. Thank you so much. Putting point golf, only shooting the 70s. Once I would like to get there again this year. Great content as always, Alex, from Tim Binder. Tim, thank you so much and Happy New Year to you too. John Hallen said, your drills on the shoulder turn and pre-shot routines to keep my elbows in have massively helped my golf improve this year. Now, John, and this goes to everybody, with all these tips, these are just constant little reminders, like, and that's what we need, isn't it? Constant little reminders of what good golf is and how we get back to that. And a lot of the tips and what you'll see is that they're working on similar things, but doing it in a different way. And one way might just really click more than another, which gives you not 1 or 2, 3, 4 weeks good golf, but gives you a season. And that's how I think about these tips. Simple, frequent, that are really designed something that you can go and take to the range, try, do now, and take to the course. Guys, thanks so much for all these questions. I will be coming back to them all in the comments here, so don't worry. If you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. Don't forget, if this is your first time here, subscribe, turn the bell. That way you can keep up to date with everything we've got on here. It's going to be a big 2024. I would also say tonight's tip is going up straight after this live stream, so keep your eyes peeled for that. One thing I would say, guys, I want to know your targets for 2024. So this to everyone that's already joined and what you've got to do in order to access that. So, for example, if it's to break 80, what you think you've got to do to break 80. If it's to break 90, get in the 70s, whatever that might be, let me know. So let's go to this next question we got in here from the pro members. From Alan Carter. Again, I didn't see this one before. At the bottom of his, what do you think of the Smart Ball swing trainer, which hangs around your neck and keeps your arms together? I would say, like, if anybody's seen this, I'm a big fan of that Smart Ball trainer. I think Martin Shook, I think maybe he was one of the guys who came up with that. But it hangs around here and it goes in between your forearms, right? And it's all about keeping that connection, keeping it all together. And keeping it all together is a really, really big thing in terms of, if you've got a golf swing, right? You look at Ernie Els as a prime example of this. If you get this swing to work together, arms and body, you have a really big chance of controlling the swing in general. Anytime we get independence and you almost feel like an octopus falling out of an aeroplane and arms are going everywhere, then it's very, very hard to be consistent. So I'm a big fan of that Smart Ball trainer. The only gripe that I have with it, like if you've ever used it on the way through, you feel a bit claustrophobic and a bit like this. That is the gripe that I have. But that would be the only gripe that I have. But yeah, Alan, I really like it. I've got another one here from Rush just saying, excellent training material on all the presentations PDFs. I've become a dedicated follower. Keep up the good work. And that's a good point, guys. We have the AE Club, which if you want to receive a PDF guide written every single month, once a month, you can subscribe for free on my website. Like, you can keep up to date with all that. And if you want it more than once a month, every week, that is, you can join the pro team as well. So Darren Perry said this. Regarding the article on the backswing, I have always started with the one piece. Is the idea of restricting the hip turn later in the swing so all the turn is not used to being early and the benefits of delaying the turn? Exactly that. Now, what I think a lot of golfers don't realize is that if we all one piece doesn't mean moving the legs and upper body all together. One piece for me is sort of starting the swing in this hips up area, all as one piece. And that's how I want you to think about the swing. That is one piece there, that top bit moving. And then the hips come in, and then you can complete your swing. That's how I want you to think about how a one-piece swing works. And that is really, really key for me, because as soon as you lose the idea of that, it's very, very hard to be consistent. I've said this from day dot, and it's a really important point. Tonight's video is on this. If you start the swing wrong, this is your DNA of the swing. So if your DNA of the swing is wrong, the rest of your swing is just a recovery mechanism going back to the ball. And if your whole swing is about you recovering, it's really hard to be consistent. Really, really hard to be consistent. Okay, guys, we're going to go through some of these, but we're also going to go live here on Instagram as well, so we can speak to everybody here. So, guys, if you're just joining from Instagram, welcome to the live stream. We are in the studio this evening, and we're watching on YouTube as well. We're answering loads of questions. So I'm going to go back to the start of this live stream here at the top and go from this one. And this is from Chasey Beers. And I think this is a big question because January, all new equipment is coming out, isn't it? Think about this. All new equipment is coming out in January. And I've got a little bit secrets to this inside here. I can't show you any more than that. And on the How Good Golf channel, we review it. all the new equipment from all the top brands before anybody else. And Chris Chasey said this. And let me know what you think on this as well. I'm always open to what you think. And you guys on Instagram, we are live over on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So come and join us over there too if you want some of your questions answered. Chasey said, is it worth getting fitted for new players' irons or for very high handicappers, such as a 30 or 36? Or will it be too much of a change in your swing to begin with? Now, the thing with getting fitted, right? You want to get fitted as early as you can, just purely because you're going to have a set of clubs, right, that are perfect for your swing. But let me caveat this. When you are starting out, your swing is changing a lot. So what I would say to you is, when you're 6 months in, your swing will have started to settle down a little bit. I would, and this is all dependent on cost, because I appreciate I'm saying this is like, this is, if money wasn't an object, I would say this. 6 months in, your swing feels like you settled down, you've been taking lessons, then it would be about time to go and get fitted. If, however, you're not doing that, I would really hang on until you're starting to get into it a little bit more, because the more lessons you have, the more you play in that first 6 months, the more likely you are for your swing to settle down. So that is what I would say, Chasey. Like, that's my advice on that. So another question in here from Higgy. He said, hi, Alex. I play off 19 and I have been having lots of lessons, but I'm struggling badly with consistency. I'm at the point of going right back to square one. I'm a senior, by the way. Is it worth restarting? Now, that's a great question. I think a lot of people, and I would say a lot of people that have lessons, go through that period of where it's like, right, I feel like I need to go back to square one here. This is just ridiculous how hard it feels. Now, I get it. Golf's a hard game. But one thing I think, right, if someone said to me, Alex, how do I learn the game of golf? I would get you to learn putting, then I'd get you to learn chipping and pitching. And I would do that for the first 3 to 4 lessons with you. And then I go into long game, then go into driver, build up a game where you can go and get on the course, get on a short game course, get on a par 3 as soon as possible. Because as soon as you nail chipping and putting, you can go and play par 3. As soon as you nail pitching, you're in. Okay. And pitching is just a short version of a full swing. But honestly, Higgy, what I would do is I would go really, I wouldn't ever go back to the start, because even if you feel like those lessons haven't been good, they have been, because you'll have learned things which, when you come to 3 or 4 months down the line, those things will be coming back to normal. Okay. They will be coming back to what feels normal. So think about this. Don't go back to square one. Maybe go back to having a look at your stance, your grip, how you stand to a driver, how you stand to an iron, because these things are forgotten so much, right? They're forgotten so much. That's what I'd say. So, guys, if you're watching here on Instagram, come and join us over on YouTube. I appreciate if you're watching this not live on YouTube. I'm not talking to you right now, but don't worry. Click the link in my stories, and I'd love for you to come and join the conversation. So many people are joining us on this convo, and I'd love for you to come over there too. So, yeah, just going back to that, guys, I think it's really important that you really assess that and go, you know what? Even if I have 3 or 4 bad lessons, let me know your experience on this as well. They don't matter. They will have helped you somewhat, 100%. Right, let's go down this question here. I am far from being a professional, but I've gotten fitted for my second and third set of clubs, Ping and PXG. Interesting. Let's go down these questions now. Okay. Right, guys. Let's go to this one here. We're going to go up this list. John Hallam said, my target is breaking 80 more often, and I managed to do it once this year by working on 100 yards and in and irons and strategies. John, I literally just said this. This is what I was saying. Like, if you work on that area, you'll be surprised what knock-on effect it has. So I'll tell you this true story, guys. This is a true story. So amount of times I've had somebody for a full day coaching experience, where people come down for a full day, right? And I always do it this way because I always can't stand down the range all day and hit balls. But we go putting, chipping, pitching, long game, driver on the course. So my point being here is, like, what I see is bad tendencies in chipping very often then come into pitching. But there is so many parallels to the pitching mistakes that golfers have to then what happens in their actual swing. So, for example, the golfer that I had was hooding this club so much on the chipping and pitching. Chipping was terrible. Can't get the loft from the club and ball in the air. And they're hitting snap hooks and low shots and hooks to the driver and irons. So you see, right? Sort the pitching out, which is sort the chipping out, which essentially is a takeaway of the swing. It has a massive knock-on effect down the line. You will be surprised. Guys, any questions that you've got, about your game, think about, I ask you this, if you just joined, I've been asking golfers, what do you have to do to beat your target? Or what's your target for next year? And what have you got to do to get that? So I think it's really important, like, if you ask a question based upon that, and then we can sort of answer it here on the live stream. And if it's your first time here, guys, welcome to the channel. This is your home of free simple golf tips, right? We produce like 5 tips every single week that are really simple, just designed for you to dial up your game, get a little bit better with simple little tweaks, right? Simple little feelings, things that I've used in my coaching, things that I've used personally on my game. Anything that I say is anything that I would honestly say to you if you came to a lesson with me. So McDim 50, I hope I said that name right here. A few of these names are a little bit different. Said this: what is the best move I can make to avoid coming over the top? Now, this has to be like, if you Google, there's so much on there. But I would honestly, I've tried numerous different ways. But one thing you got to understand, right? So if I'm here to you, right, and this is the golf ball. The golf swings on an arc, so it gets closer to you on this side and closer to you on this side. I would honestly try hitting some golf balls from just outside your back right foot. Because if you swing over the top when the golf ball is this far back, you will miss the golf ball. Now, you won't miss the golf ball because your brain will take over. So have a go at hitting some golf balls that are just outside your back right foot. And that way, you will learn to get it in the slot. And what you would do over a period of time, and I say period of time not being one session, being 3 or 4 sessions, I would get you to move that ball. And this is something you can do yourself. You don't have to go for a lesson. From back right foot back towards where it is. And this is all relative to the club that you've got. So let me say, right, 7-9 starts just ahead of middle. You could do it just inside back right foot. If you're doing this a driver, that starts just inside left foot, doesn't it? Right? Or for a right-handed fund. Driver starts just inside your lead foot for any golfer, and move it back to hitting some balls in the middle of your stance. This way, you're not hitting it on the left arc, you're hitting it on this arc. And you'll be surprised, right, how much ball position affects your swing direction and the club path. And honestly, you've got to really think about this as a simple thing of, if you want to stop coming from over the top, move the ball towards the back of your stance relative to the club that you've got. So if driver's really foot, move it back towards your back foot. That is honestly how I would think about doing this. Guys, I hope you're enjoying this live stream. I hope you're getting some little simple tips. What a great question this is. Stephen Emmett said, what is the best cold weather golf ball? Anything. No. I would honestly say, and people might disagree with this, I would just use the same golf ball that I use in the summer. And this is purely because you don't want to be going from one golf ball to another. I understand what you're saying in the sense of, okay, in this winter, it's more relaxed golf, and maybe you should get a cheaper ball. It's not flying as far, but it's that feel element around the greens. If you go from playing a harder golf ball in the winter because you're worried about losing distance, you're going to lose that feel aspect in the summer. Now, I would ask the question, and this is what I'd say to most club golfers, right? You hit way more chips and pitches, right, than you do drives and full iron shots, because we miss a lot of greens. Okay. And that's what I'd say is that bit closer to the green has a far bigger input on what your score will be. So think about that. I would. Okay. Same golf ball for me. What's wrong with this video? It's blurry. Matt, we're having some bad weather where I am. So unfortunately, like, we keep losing signal. So hopefully it comes back in and it goes. Hopefully you're watching it and it is crystal clear. Yeah, we're just having some signal issues with Wi-Fi. There's a bit of a storm outside. So if it is a bit blurry, I do apologize. Hopefully it starts to sort itself out. It looks a little bit better on my live stream, and I hope it looks a little bit better on yours. So another one from Jerry saying here, I've seen so many conflicting videos about the trail hand having more power and the hitting the ball. So many say it's your left arm and hands. Be more dominant. What do you think? Now, Jerry, right? I'm talking about right-hander here. For me, I think about left arm is direction arm. Right hand is power. And power in terms of pressure. If you think, right, can I put pressure that way a lot? No, but I can put pressure this way a lot for right-hander, left-hander being the opposite. But it's a combination. I don't think of right being more on and right being power. For me, I think of them having a relationship of 50-50 in the golf swing. But how the right arm works in the swing has a direct impact for me on how good your strike is, how good your power is, and how good you swing the golf club. Having the ability to load the power and place it in front of you will have a bigger impact on it. Because think about it this way, right? In the golf swing, hopefully in the backswing, left arm stays straight, and to impact it stays straight. The right arm folds and then comes back to extended. So if an arm's doing this, this is going to have more power. Think about this. If I'm doing that, that's got more power than just pushing from there, isn't it? That has more power than that. And that's what I would say. But I don't actively think about that in the golf swing. I think about it in a way that they have a relationship of around 50-50. That's how I think about it. Okay, here we go. Here you go, for Stephen here, another one. Are you for or against a flying elbow in the backswing? I wouldn't say I'm totally against it. What I am against is, what I tend to see, and this is what I am against, is the compromise. So if you think of this as the top of the backswing position, I'm right-handed. Imagine I'm hitting this way. If you tend to go top of backswing and fly the elbow, we tend to see then a cupping of the wrist. Now, if we tend to see a cupping of the wrist, we then tend to get an open club face. So we've got to make sure that's tucked in, okay? I like that tucked in because it's easier to achieve a better wrist position at the top of the backswing. Just because if you get here and then go like this means my right hand probably will come off the club. So what I would say is it looks tidier if you have a right elbow that's not flying, but on a general rule of thumb, you've got to look at what that's compromising in the swing. Here we go. So many questions, guys. Thanks so much for joining me this evening. Thanks so much. If you hope you had a great Christmas and a great New Year. If you did enjoy it, I really, really do hope you got some golf gifts. If you did, if you didn't, I really just hope you had a great time with your family as well. If you are enjoying this video, please don't forget to hit that little heart button in the live chat. It'd be great to sort of have you on here and let us know how much you like this. I appreciate a lot of people are saying this is freezing. Brian Stars, come on, say it's freezing. Hopefully it is not freezing for you. It's just because we're having a storm outside and the internet keeps dropping in and out. I hope it is okay for you and you are joining in here. So another one question in here from Mark Crowell, sorry. I live in Florida where it's about 12 degrees of bounce in my wedges and it works best, except for firm turf. What adjustment do I need to make for firm conditions? Now, the simple rule of thumb is that if you think of this as our flat piece of ground, and we'll turn it over, if you have more bounce, okay, the more your leading edge will be pronounced when you open the face. Now, more bounce is great for like bunker shots because it helps glide through the sand. But if you're a golfer who plays very firm conditions all the time, you want lower bounce wedges, okay? And that's what I would say is a really good thumb. Okay, guys, we're going to have a couple more questions and then we're going to end tonight's stream. If you are enjoying this stream, guys, I really do appreciate you coming on. It's great to have you on. I think we are in some internet issues because a lot of people are telling me that we're struggling with the live stream. But we're going to go for one more question. How do you find good golf coach? How do you find a good golf coach? I'm in the USA and looking for someone to help me get to scratch. Now, and what I would say is finding a good golf coach is, okay, you've got to like them as a person, and not necessarily that really. You've got to enjoy spending time with them because at the end of the day, you're spending your hard-earned money. But you've got to get on with somebody in the sense of you've got to be able to understand how they spend their message. And what I mean by spend their message is, how do they get you to understand? Are they flexible to how you learn, or do they just try and put across their message and get in one way? Now, what I mean by that is, if someone comes to a lesson with me, like I would give them 3 or 4 different ways in order to learn the same task, because I realize everybody learns differently. And if we all learn differently, how can I expect one size to fit all? So have a look at it and go, what golf coach helps adapt to me? What golf coach gives me the best chance of learning? And that's how I would think about this. Guys, I really do hope you have the audio is fine. Great. Guys to say this is all good. I really do hope it is fine for you and you have managed to watch tonight's live stream. I am leaving it there, unfortunately, this evening because I think we are having some technical difficulties, but I really do hope you've enjoyed this live stream. Remember, The last Thursday of every single month, we'll be going live, and maybe a little bit more out of the blue. So if you've not already, subscribe, turn the bell. That way you can keep up to date with all the content here. Honestly, I just want to say, guys, thanks so much for support in 2023. It's been outstanding, like way more than I could ever imagine. I just want to really, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all the support, all the nice comments. And I just genuinely hope your golf game's improving and your scores are going down. And most of all, you're enjoying your golf a lot more. We've got loads coming up in 2024. We've got a video dropping just after this live stream. And I hope you will check that out because I really firmly believe it could be a really good answer to your mishaps in your swing. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great evening. And if you do want to play some better golf in 2024, make sure you tune into all the videos.